Hello everyone and welcome to the show. It's series 12, believe it or not, episode number 1 for Sunday the 8th of January in 2023. Yes, I even got the year right and everything. Hello and welcome aboard. If you are just joining us, Happy New Year to you. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the show. If you're back, if you're an old hand at it, well, welcome back. I see we've got one or two people who are back. Penfold is back, Wesley's back, Christopher is back, and Dominic is back as well. Penfold says, "New year, new filing cabinets." Yes, you're right, Penfold. We've had a bit of a swap round over the last couple of weeks here. What it says, "Evening all and Happy New Year." Happy New Year, Wesley. Christopher is here as well, as is Dominic. Happy New Year to you all. Yeah, it's getting more like Swap Shop every week. This this show is. Because we've had mail from Christopher, who has sent us a card in all the way from Australia. This has come, and he sent us, I don't know if you can see this on that camera or not, a Melbourne transport badge. Can we? I don't even know which way up it's supposed to be. Oh, I think it's supposed to be that way up. Yeah, a Melbourne transport badge. If I can get a camera on it, never works very well this, but here we go. Right, come on, switch cameras. Thank you. There you go. That is the Melbourne transport little pin badge thing there. So thank you very much for that, Christopher. And sent a couple of photographs and things as well. Yeah, if you want to send anything in to us, get in touch with us via the website andyshed.coldpress.net. I'll find it in a minute. It's there. That's the one. andyshed.coldpress.net. If you want to send anything in to us, and we will give you a shout out on the show. Right. We've got a packed one for you this evening. I can't even remember where we were before Christmas. I can't even remember where we ended up before Christmas. But been doing quite a few things over the Christmas break. If you saw the Christmas Eve live stream from the radio station, thanks for watching that. If you didn't see it, it is up on the channel now. You can have a look at it and catch up if you didn't see it when it was live. We've been doing all sorts over the Christmas holidays. I've had the 3D printer out again in model railway form. I can get some of these little things that I've printed out to show you. We've been printing out little navigator carriages again, like that. You see that? So we've had another go with a 3D printer, and we've come up with some new designs as well. We came up with a design. Well, here's what we came up with at first. We came up with a bogie coach thing like that. And then I realised the window pillars were a bit thin on it, and the printer didn't really like printing them, and the door didn't look quite right, that design. So we changed it into that, and the window pillars are still a bit thin on that, aren't they? But the door's better, I think. So we then changed it again into that. So if I get that, and I also get that roof, you'll get an idea of what the sort of finished product thing looks like. And that's how it is when it's been sort of cleaned up on that, run off the 3D printer. Somebody was asking me the other day, they said, how do they actually come off the printer? And they come off the printer like that. So with the windows filled in. I don't know if you can you see that? But the bits that are filled in the windows, you pop out, and this thing, what they call a brim around the base, you cut that off as well, and because that's just what glues it down basically onto the 3D printer. So we've been doing those, ready for a new model railway layout that will be coming at some point in the future. We've also been doing a big Clive and recovering batteries out of disposable vapes, believe it or not. More about that in the weeks to come and what we've been doing there. But also at Christmas I had a trip out, and he's been waiting a week. As Andrew, who I went to see, because I did tell him when I went to see him, which was a week last Friday I think it was, that there would be a live stream last week, but things conspired against them. There wasn't a live stream last week. But basically I had a trip out to Welsh Wales to see a chap called Andrew, who is he doesn't tend to be in the chat and that on here, but he does watch the streams and things, I believe. Maybe he watches them after the event. And basically he is a telephone collector. For those of you who have been in the forum, which is here, gpotelephones.proboards.com. For those of you that have been in the forum, you've probably seen some pictures that he uploaded of his telephone collection. There is going to be some footage of it as well on here next week. We'll have some footage of some of his collection next week, so don't miss out on that. But basically he got a couple of things that he hadn't really got room for and that, so I ended up with coming away with more than I went with. And partly the reason why the filing cabinet is where it is. Now, how can I do this? Let me see if I'll just move this camera a minute, and then it'll say what's on top of. Oh, you can't see it. It doesn't move enough, that camera. Oh, bomb. Alright, hang on. Let me see if I can do it some other way. Put this camera back. Right, I put that one back now. Now I'm wonky. Is that better? That's sort of better, isn't it? It's too much that way now. Right, come over here a bit. Right, that's it. Alright, let's try it with a different camera, and we'll see if I can show you what's up on top of the filing cabinet. Right. Move that camera and focus it. Because up on top of the filing cabinet is that. Now, get my head out of the shot. Does anybody know what that is? Has anybody got any idea? Not the printer, the thing in the middle. Any ideas, anyone? What that may be? Well, I'll give you a clue. Here's the front of it. It's a payphone. Now, it is part of what the GPO on telecom in later years would have called a renter's set, which was basically consisted of a board onto which was mounted a massive great big coin box, which is that thing up there, and also a 711/741 wall phone wired into it. This is the coin box. I've also got the backboard as well that came from Andrew, because he said he's got another one. In fact, he has got another one. You'll see it next week on the show next week. So this one was surplus to requirements, so it came home with me. Now, if anybody knows anything about getting into the insides of one of these, into that bit, because I've got absolutely no idea. All this middle of it, I'm pretty sure, should come out so you can repair it and service it and that, but I've got no idea how it comes out, and it's not obvious. So if anybody knows how you get that out of there, please do get in touch with us, andyshed.coldpress.net, and hopefully then we might be able to get this going. But it's in various bits at the moment. I've got that bit, I've got this bit, and because that's the front of it, and I've got this bit as well, which is the door for the cash box at the bottom. Now, it's not in one piece because at the moment I've not got a way of locking the front back on, because the front has got a lock here, see, and that lock is down. Can you see the thing is out on the lock at the minute? And the idea is you put the front on and you sort of engage the top under that lip at the top of there. Can you see the lip there? That lip. You engage this here under that lip, and then you put it on like that sort of thing, and then you move the bottom in and lock it down, and then that holds it shut. But I've not got a key for it, and that is locked in the close position, so I can't put the front on it at the minute. The lock does have a number or something on it. It says 39BR, and then underneath it says HGB, if that means anything to anyone. So we are looking for a lock so that we can turn that and lock it. I mean, I must admit, I've not actually tried turning it with a screwdriver. Sometimes these things do. But it'll be fairly high security though, won't it? So I doubt it will turn with a screwdriver. The front piece turns, but it doesn't. The front bit turns, but it doesn't actually do anything with the locky bit on the inside. I move you down a bit. Still not moved you down, have I? Right. I've moved you down too far. It's going to be one of those days today. I'm going to feel it. But yeah, I can turn the front, but I can't turn the thing on the back. I can just turn the thing in the front there, but it doesn't actually operate the lock, because the thing's not going in and turning the whole mechanism. So if anybody knows what to do about this, get in touch. Because I'm a little stumped, shall we say. So that is that. If few other things came from Andrews as well, but they'll be on next week. So that's just one of the things that came from down there, but I did end up coming back with more bits. Penfold says, is that thing up there a light switch? No, not that, Penfold. The thing in the middle. It says, does it have A and B buttons? No, it's a later model than that, Penfold. It's not one with A and B buttons. Christopher says he's got 3 GC64D bell sets and he's got a video of them up on his channel. Well, as he says, for that payphone, all the metering and pips were part of the exchange equipment, were they not? Yes, I think they were, Wesley. But I seem to remember somebody was working on some kind of little box of tricks that would simulate the stuff coming from the exchange to make one of these payphones work. I'm sure somebody said to me ages ago that somebody was making a box of tricks to try and make these payphones work. So I'll have to look into that, because I'm sure somebody said they were going to try and do something with a Raspberry Pi or something like that. Christopher says, does the lock come off the back? Good question, Christopher. I don't know the answer to that. Does the lock come off the back? It looks like it might unscrew, yes. It does. In fact, what's that thing do there? Yeah, it does definitely look like it unscrews off the back of there. The lock mechanism would then come off, I do believe. Hang on a minute, let's have a little look-see, shall we? Because it's here, you see, and it has got screws in it. Shall we have a look? Using one of my recently restored screwdrivers. I've been having fun restoring these screwdrivers with these sort of translucent plastic ends on. I found a way of restoring them, and right, sides off, and if I take these two screws out, I think the lock might fall off. It might have some more numbers and things. Yep. Well, there it is. No more numbers, but we can see into the barrel. So somebody who knew what they were doing could probably cut a key that would work with that. Now, I'm not going to take it apart any further than that, because I'm not a locksmith and I don't want it all to ping apart on me. But yes, yeah, we need a key for that. I need some master locksmith or something, don't I? yeah, that goes on there. Then this bit of, I'm not really sure what this bit of metal's for, because there's nothing there in the case, but that just goes on there and is held with those two screws at that side as well. I shall put it back together for now. In the hope that somebody can enlighten us on how to do these locks. Now, if anybody's got a key for one of these, I'm assuming every payphone didn't have a different key, did it? Or these were renters' sets. So maybe there were quite a big number of different ones, because if you owned a pub or something that had one of these in it for your customers to call their taxis and things, they wouldn't give you a key that would also fit the payphone of the pub down the road, would they? Or did the GPO used to come and empty up? Did the landlord of the pub or hotel or whatever, did he not empty them? Did somebody from the GPO used to come round and empty them? I just don't know. I don't know how it worked. Anybody who knows how it worked, let us know. But yeah, there it is. Like I say, there's a number on there which seems to be 39BR, and then underneath it HGB, I think, if that means anything to anybody. Now the number in here, it says number /1 FBR 81/2 430362 BTQC/BMF batch sampled is what it says there. So yeah, and it feels like it's made out of Mazak or something like that. I don't really know quite what it's made out of. Yeah, there you go. That's the front of it anyway, with the nice thing that you can read there. Dial first, pay on answer. Dialing codes and charges are shown in the booklet. I've not got the booklet. Have money ready, but do not insert yet. Lift receiver, listen for dialing tone, and dial carefully. Then wait for a tone. Ringing tone changes when number answers, so when number answers to pay tone, rapid pips. Now pressing a coin. Coin slots are shut until first pay tone. Now the coin slots, I know how to open the coin slots, because all you do apparently to open the coin slots is reverse the polarity of the line. So you know your A and your B, your incoming phone wires, swap them over and that opens the coin slots apparently. But I don't know how to get it to do anything else, but I can open the coin slots. So I can probably make it so the coin slots will stay open so you can drop money in. But we will leave that down there until somebody enlightens us. Wesley says, will the lock mechanism move, possibly sent to a locksmith? I must be reading what he wrote before we actually took it apart there. So yeah, I think that's a good idea, Wesley. Penfold says the lock has an anti-drill plate at the front. That's the part that spins round that you stuck your screwdriver in. Ah, I see. That's to stop you drilling a hole in it. Penrose says, does the lock have a number stamped on it? Only that number that I gave you off the mechanism. Miguel is with us. Evening, Miguel. He says the coin and fee checking equipment was at the exchange and contained many relays, and the routine to check these was also complicated, so not easy to get to work. Yeah, but they've got to. They've only got 2 wires to send it down, though, haven't they? If you imagine the line coming from the exchange, it's 2 wires. So whatever signal they send to this thing, it's got to go down 2 wires. So if we can replicate the signal coming down those 2 wires, and that's why I'm sure somebody was trying to do it with a Raspberry Pi or something like that, or maybe an Arduino or something like that. I'm sure, I'm racking my brains now, going back a few years, but I'm sure I spoke to somebody who said they knew somebody else who was trying to do this to get a payphone working. Because a lot of people have payphones in the garden, you know, in a red phone box, and they wouldn't need similar equipment, I would guess. It says also at the exchange was the group who dealt with repairs to all call boxes, a special group within the exchange. Oh, that's interesting. Christopher says the number on the back of the lock might be the key number. It might be, Christopher, yeah. Think we need a locksmith? I don't know, though. In this modern world, I don't know where to find a local locksmith. I don't think we have such things anymore. Penfold says, in the end, the payphones were emptied by a private subcontractor firm who removed the coins and reported any damage. What about the renter sets, though, Penfold? Were they emptied by somebody who went round, or were they emptied by somebody in the establishment where the renter sets were? I don't know how the renter sets worked. I get it for an ordinary phone box type arrangement, but when you've got a renter set in a pub or a hotel or something, do the calls go on that pub or hotel's normal phone bill, and then the landlord empties the payphone to get the money back for the public calls? Is that how it works? Because that's kind of how it works now, but is that how it worked then? I don't know. Penfold says, my father, after he left the RAF after 40 years, worked as a payphone coin removal man. We had a lot of payphone coin removal men around here, but I don't think they were officially employed. I think they just went by a crowbar, just went with a crowbar at night. Christopher says you can rekey a lock. I done it to an old railway lock. Right, what did you do then, Christopher? That's the question. What did you do? Here's something you ought to make a video about, Christopher. If you've rekeyed a lock, you ought to make a video about that, because I'd be very interested to know. There's a little task for you. Right. Anyway, that's the payphone. That's only part of tonight's stuff, shall we say? Because I've got a big box on the floor down here. Where are we? Oh, that shouldn't be in there. That's a red herring, that. What's in there? What is in there? Oh. Bits and bobs, they shouldn't be in there either. These are what we're looking for. Right, next things that arrived over the festive season. Bakelite telephones. So here's one. I will put it down on the desk so you can have a good look at it. There you go, here's one. Interesting, because it's got a black finger wheel, and see that gap there? That gap there, this sort of dial that has a big gap there, was, as far as I know, not used by the GPO. It's I think it was ATE that made these dials. I'm not sure about that. I'll not swear to that. I think it was. But where you've got a big gap between the last hole in the finger wheel and the finger stop there, like that, if ever you see that on a phone, that is a fairly good giveaway that it's not a GPO phone, or it's had the dial changed. GPO 300s had a dial that had no gap there. Basically the finger stop was right up to the edge of the hole for the zero. As you can see, it's a little slow. So this is probably not a GPO phone as far as I know, and is it? What does that say on there? Right. Let me get this under a camera. So, right, where's the camera gone? Where's the blooming? Hang on now. Right, that's the right camera. Right, what does that say? Is it ATM? What was it? Automatic telephone something? But that shows it's not a GPO phone. We didn't think it was, really, did we? We'll look underneath it, and underneath there is a very faint thing. Firstly, there's a number here, and that number looks like L1156007. L1156007. That's what it looks like. It's very faint, so I might have got a bit of that wrong. Then underneath, even fainter. Property of Automatic Telephone and Electric Co Limited, Liverpool. So it is a private version of a 300. But it's in pretty good condition. You know, the Bakelite's not chipped around the bottom or anything. So it's in pretty good nick, this one. So it's quite a reasonable phone. Could be a good candidate for getting going. Let's have a look what's in here. Oh yeah, we've got the number 12 sort of plate thing. I don't know what you call those. And that all looks pretty good inside there. You're supposed to slide these on this, eh? So yeah. So I think this would be a good candidate for putting a cord on and getting going. Now, you're supposed to put a little pin in that hole there to turn these. Sometimes you can turn them without putting anything in the hole, but other times you do need to put something in the hole. Have I got a pin or something that I can put in there and try and turn that? I have indeed actually got a pin, so I'll try and do this. This is where you kind of need 3 hands. But I don't think that has gone in. Anything like that. I need something a bit sturdier, really. What do you think? Get that off there. Need something a bit sturdier than a pin, but not as thick as a screwdriver. Bear with me one moment. Let's have a look what we've got in this magic box of tools. Is that thin enough to go in? No. Yes. That perhaps thin enough to go in. Right. Let's see if that will go in there. Right. That will go in the hole. Ah, got it. Right. There it is. Hold it. Apart. Can everyone see that? So, there's your... Oh, paint's all gone a bit funny on that. Oh dear. I wonder what's made the paint all wrinkle up on that. So that might not work, because it looks like there's been some wet or something in there that's made the paint come off. But apart from that, it looks in good condition actually. Let's put that down again. Put that back on there like so. Should be able to click that. See, now it'll turn. It'll just... Yeah. But there we go. And note the spit cup on this is good as well. It's got no chips out of it or anything. These didn't come from Andrew down in Wales. These were an eBay purchase. But, so that's one. Looks in pretty good condition. That one. So that might be a candidate for getting going. That one. Right, I'll put that round here a minute. Right, next one here is a bit different. Right, because it's got a different cord on it. It's got a green cord, not a twisted cord. This one is a Siemens phone, I believe. I believe this one's a Siemens, if you can. That's upside down, isn't it? Siemens, London, and all the patent numbers and things. So this is the Siemens version. Get myself back in focus. This is the Siemens version, subtly different. The plungers are missing on this, but the plungers go through a kind of, well, what looks like a nut set into there on that, but I don't think there should be a nut in there. I think it should just be a hole like that. That's got a nut in, but it's got a hexagonal nut in a round hole if you look at it up really close. Can you see that? It's a hexagonal nut in a round hole. So I think that is a red herring. That nut shouldn't be in there. I think we've got to get that out of there. So we will have a little look at this one, because I mean, obviously it's got no hooks or anything like no hook switch. So I think this one will be a good candidate for having a look inside. So just get the relevant tools. Turn this over like so, and we've got a couple of feet missing as well on this one. That screwdriver is a tad small perhaps for this. Might want one just slightly bigger. Now this is the difference between a genuine British 300 series and an Indian one. A British 300 series has screws for the feet and screws to take the base off close to them. An Indian one, you take the feet screws off to get the base off. So you take the feet off and then the base comes off with them, sort of thing, on an Indian one. So there's only 4 screws under an Indian phone, not 8, which there should be under here, if it had got the 2 back feet that are missing. Right, this screw, this one is a bit corroded somehow. I don't know if it's been somehow damp, that one. How come only that one is corroded? Unless just that corner of the phone's been underwater. Something silly. That one really does not want to come out. Let's try this one. It's not easy. It'd help if my screwdriver wasn't quite so long, actually. Right, I think that's released it all. Right, just the base plate should come off. Yep, and they should be retained in it. Yeah. telephone 356. So, inside, if I remove the dead wood lice that are inside it, it is a telephone 356, apparently, according to that. Can you see that? If you want to get a screen grab of that, feel free. Telephone 356, and that's actually printed on the base. It's not on a sticker like things normally are. It's actually printed on there. But other than that, it looks like a fairly ordinary 300 series inside there. So I'm quite hopeful, again, that we might be able to get that one going. So another interesting one. Right, I shall screw the bottom back onto there. While I'm doing that, I'll have a look what folks are saying in the chat as well. Chris says he will do a video to show the lock. Miget says that black dial is like the dials on the ITI phones. Yes, well, I think it was the moles that these guys had, that ATM had, that eventually were the ones that went over to India, where of course I think we're still making 300 series in India to this day, or a version of them. But I think it was the ATM factory whose stuff went over to India, to Indian telephone industries. So that's where the parentage is, I think. Wesley says, I want a 2p receiver and diaphragm. Payphones says 12 plate will be the diaphragm, possibly. Whereas it says the diagram is a plate, the diaphragm is the plate, but the receiver is what screws in with 2 screws. The later ones were much better performing. I think the diaphragm for a 2p is a 25, and the ear caps were different too. Were they? So what have we got here then? I'll have a look when I've just screwed this on. It says this dial type was found on many phones from Belgium, France, and Auto Electric in the States. It's a well-proven design. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that for some reason the GPO never used it, and I don't know why. But it's a good way. Looking at the distance between that last hole in the finger wheel and the finger stop. Looking at that distance is a good way of telling if a Bakelite phone is a GPO one or not. Unless, of course, it had a different dial fitted, which is not beyond the realms of possibility after all these years. Right. Where am I? I'm just trying to re-put these screws into here. I'm doing about 3 things at once at the minute, and they're not actually going in terribly easier for screws that have actually come out of these holes. I wonder why that is. Because the screw has come out of the same hole, but doesn't seem to want to go back in. But the other end, they go in easy, as you would expect. Having said that, see, it's squeaky, but it is going in. You know, I'm fairly sure it's not cross-threaded, because it wouldn't be going in at all if it was. But yeah, so anyway, that's another phone that hopefully we will be able to get going without too many issues. And that one, see, that's got a GPO type dial. That one. In fact, it may be a dial 12, this. And it works quite nicely as well. So yeah. What does it say underneath? Absolutely nothing, of course, under this one. And there's something rattling about in there. Now, I wonder if whatever's rattling about in there is one of these. I think I'm going to take it apart again, because it may be that rattling about in there is a hook switch plunger. These off again. Right, so what is rattling about in there? So we'll see if it drops out. Oh! Ah! Oh! 'Tis that. Now that is threaded on the inside, is that? And it looks the same as this thing that's stuck in here. It looks like that's that one. That one will go in there. But why has it got a thread in the top of there? If that is supposed to be in there, why is that threaded? Let's take the mechanism out and have a closer look, see what's going on in here, because it's all a bit strange. I think this has all got a bit twisted somehow, because there should be a back screw there, and that screw wasn't in. It's just loose. So there we go. And that should probably be in there like that one then. So maybe they should be in there. Like that. Perhaps that is right. But why is it threaded on the inside? Some strange, and that one won't press down into that hole like the other one has, unless it is supposed to be a tight fit. Perhaps you are supposed to knock it in. I mean, I have got no idea at all. But yeah, something weird going on there. But what's happening with this? Because these seem to be twisted. Quite a lot out of shape. Have I got something I can twist them back with? Hello. I'm knocking things over. I knew I'd do that. Right. Can I get a set of pliers in to attempt to twist this back to where I think it probably should be. Which I think is more like that. Pretty sure that's more like where it should be. Now it's far less twisted than it was. So now when I put it back in and engage it with those two brass inserts, hopefully the back screw might be also be closer to going in the hole, and it is. It's a lot closer. So alright, fit that one loosely. Fit that one loosely. Will it go in that one? I think I've got it. I do believe I've got it. Yeah, that one's gone in. and that one's gone in. So that's improved that, no end. So we get the dead spider out of the bell, out of the bell gong. Lots of dead critters in these. Right. Well, that says 704 there, but don't get excited. Don't think it's a telephone 704. But yeah. So that one has now gone back together better than it was. So somebody always messed about there for that to get all bent like that. And also for this to get on the inside, because as far as I can see they must fit from the outside, but the only reason I can think that is threaded is that something goes on the end of there to retain, to somehow retain the little plungers that go up and down. That's the only thing I can think of. Right, let us now put the base back on for now, because we have got another one to have a look at. We'll get back to the chat as well in a minute, see what you've all been saying. If you've got any questions or anything, now is the time, stick them in the chat. These retained screws are sometimes a bit of a pain, because to get them to go in without cross threading, you can only put each one in a bit at a time, otherwise they go wonky in the holes. That one is still difficult. As is that one. But it is going in. So this Siemens phone has been messed about with a bit inside, you know, the looks of it. Somebody's been in there. So that perhaps does, on a Siemens phone, actually go in there. Now this one, the handset on it seems to have been glued up. But, oh no, it does come apart. What on earth? Right. Can we see this? Right, so, yeah, there's all horrible glue in here. And bit of rag has been put in. I hope that's brown paint on there, not blood. Yeah, and there's all kind of horrible yellow rubbery glue. But the rest of it seems okay when you take that out. So I wonder if this has been used as a prop or something on stage. Wonder what's in the other end. Gah! Right, we've got a problem. Can't get that end off. Right, who remembers the Australian Bakelite phone where I couldn't get the dial out? Yeah, you know, You remember the one where Christopher sent me a new dial for it? Because mine had got the wrong dial and I couldn't get the old dial off because somebody had glued it in. Well, I think we've got the same problem here. That I cannot get that off there. So has anybody got any ideas on how to get that off? That is absolutely stuck on there, and given there was glue in the other end, I think we might have to find something that will dissolve glue without dissolving anything else in the phone. So yeah, we've got a problem there then, which is a shame because other than that it's a nice phone. So that's that one. So I'll put that one to one side for a moment. That's a Siemens one. So we've got 80 ATM, whatever, and we've got Siemens there at the moment. Right, what are folks up to in the chat? Oh, Gambo's joined us. He says, "Hi Andy, sorry I'm late. I've been getting fed at my Mars for Sunday dinner. Happy New Year." Andy, the Bakelite handsets, how does the black curly cord be wired up properly? You basically wire it up like the others. Where you have difficulty with the black curly cord is there's no strain relief on it generally. What you have to do is wrap a bit of string or something around the end of the cord inside the phone and then tie it to something, which is the GPO way of doing it actually. But yeah, the black curly cords are a replacement thing on Bakelite phones. When they went back sort of in the 60s to be refurbished in the factories, because they were still issuing Bakelite phones to people well into the era when 706s were out. So they were refurbishing them, and that's when they were putting the black curly cords on. So if you're wanting it to have the refurbished look, it should have the black curly cord. If you're wanting to take it back to original, it should have the plaited cord like these have got, which is, although it only has 3 cores up it on the plaited cord, it is actually plaited with 4 wires, 4 separate strands. Gambo says, I received this phone yesterday, this Bakelite phone, and was wiring the cord to the handset, but it was the metal bracket on the cord. I was confused. I took the centre screw off and put it under the screw back in place. Yeah, I'm not sure. Wesley says he thinks there's some bits missing, or is that referring to what I've got there? Wesley says he thinks that's been inserted where it should not have been. Where it says the proper black curly cords for 300s should have a collar crimped on it with a hole for a screw to retain it at the handset end. Right. Dominic says the Siemens phone is one of the few authentic phones to have London marked on it. Yeah, they do tend to write London on things that are a bit dodgy, don't they? Christopher says, I did the video how to rekey the lock. Did you? Won't let you send the blooming link though, will it, Christopher? It's really stupid. Email me the link, Christopher, to it, please, because it won't let you put it in the YouTube chat. Penfield says, did you know RAF Lossiemouth was the biggest area for obscene phone calls? The 1475 was trialled there. Oh, interesting. Christopher says, to rekey a lock, you get a key which fits into the lock. Take the lock apart and locking pins out. Put the new key in and you put the locking pins in and adjust them with the new key. Right, I'm totally out of my depth there, Christopher, because I've never done anything with locks or anything, so it's a completely new world to me, so I'm going to have to watch some videos, I think, on this subject before I have a go at that, including yours. Right. Now, where it says a kettle of hot water to get the ear cap off. And Miguel says hot water as well. Won't that damage whatever's inside there though? If I do it with hot water. You reckon hot water? A bowl of hot water. Shall we try it? Shall we try it while we're here? I will go and boil the kettle. Just bear with me one second. Right, I'm back. The kettle of hot water is boiling right now. We are boiling the kettle. So as soon as it's boiled, we'll have a go at that. Gambo says it was fitting a metal collar to the handset. Took the centre screw and bracket, then put the collar upside down and place the bracket and screw back in place. Headphone says Lock Noob on YouTube is good to explain some locks. Wesley says regarding the kettle thing, I assume, it says I did it successfully with an Ivory 300 recently. Well, Wesley also says milk, no sugar, thanks Andy. Can't make tea with it, Wesley. I'm going to be busy trying to ungum phones with it. So let's see. I think it's nearly boiled. I'm listening to it at the minute. I think it's nearly boiled. So we'll have a go. I'm going to get rid of this because this is just disgusting. I'm going to wash my hands while I'm away. Just waiting for the kettle to boil. Here I am. Right. Here we go. Right, I've now got a bowl of boiling water. You see? A bowl of boiling water. Right. So now we've got that, let's get that phone back. Not knocking things over again. Literally not got room to move in this place. Not got room to move a muscle. You can't turn around in this room. Right, so here it is. Here is the handset. It is stuck. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking I just dunk this in there? Is that the thinking? I'll give you a minute to put it in the chat. Payphones says, I wonder if the rack came with any of those business cards you used to see in phone booths. I don't even want to think about it, thanks Penfold. Really don't want to think about it. But yeah, it was just disgusting. Just, do I dunk this in this bowl then of nearly boiling water? It's always gone off the boil a bit now. It doesn't need to be boiling hot really, Andy. Oh well, it is. Right, so right. I've dumped it in there. Dominic says, I would carefully pour it over the join at the sink. Too late, Dominic. I've dumped it. I've dumped it. As you can probably see. Got no idea if this is going to work or not. If this works, I'll be gobsmacked. What are we thinking then? We get says quickly just to expand the cap only. Well, that should have expanded the cap now, me get, shouldn't it? So right. Let's have a little look then now and see what happens. Right, if that's expanded the cap, I should be able to go. Nope. No such luck. I put it back in again because it didn't work, so it's back in there. I think it's got to soften the glue, personally. I hear what you're saying about expanding the cap, and if it was just seized on there, I think you're right. But I think I've actually got to get some water in there and soften the glue. Now maybe I should turn it the other way up, but will the water damage any of the internals of the phone? See, because if I do it the other way up, you see, and then the water is in there, isn't it? So I reckon that should be softening the glue. Hopefully. So you don't have to worry too much about Bakelite, because Bakelite is fairly inert. There's not much that will melt or damage Bakelite, but it's other things that I worry about that are not Bakelite. You know, other components on the inside. Right. Right. We'll oust that again now. And we'll give that a go. Right. Nope, it's not shifting it. I'll get a bit of this bubble wrappy stuff. Right, give me a better. Nope. Still not shifting it. Hang on. I have got a jar opener somewhere. Just leave that there a minute. Now this thing here, in theory, is a jar opener. What you should be able to do is, will that fit around there? It will on the outer edge, but not on the, it's just a little bit too small. Right, if I can kind of wrap it in that, then can we try it? Is it gone? No, it just fell off. Down here, I know you can't see this very well, but I can't easily get it where you can see it. The thing is, it's such a bonkers shape. This slides off too easily. This thing doesn't grip the way it should. It's a bit too big really, this jar opener. Nope. Stick it in there again a minute. I'll find something else. Bit of rag. Right, now with a bit of rag over it. this is not going to turn. No, that has definitely not worked. I can say without a shadow of a doubt the hot water thing does not work. No way is that coming off there. No way. I think the only way that will come off is break that end cap, take it off in pieces and then put a new end cap on. I think that's what you'd probably end up doing to get that off, because you just can't grip it. It has certainly not softened the glue. What idiot glued it on? If you're the idiot that glued this on, you're an idiot. In fact, you're not just an idiot, you're something else idiot. No, no chance. No chance, no way. As you say, it's a song. No, basically that's not happening. Right. Right, so that can go back down here again, and I'll get rid of my water. That's hot. Still. Right. So that's not worked. So we'll have to come back to that one, I think, another day. But no fear, because I've got another one. This is the third one of the batch of 3 that came together. This one has. It looks very shiny, doesn't it? You think, I bet you think, oh, that's really nicely polished, that one. It's not. It's been painted. In person, it looks terrible. Because it has been painted, this one. Yeah, really bad. Really bad. Do need to strip the paint off, but I think with paint stripper we probably can strip it off, because I don't think the paint stripper will affect the Bakelite. But this one, perhaps has got a broken spring in the dial, or spring not connected. I think it's a dial 12 again. But underneath it's not all there, as you can see, but there is a buzzer under here. Now this was a 312F for figure. So that's interesting, because it was a 312F for figure, but it's got a lettered plate on the front there, so perhaps it's not got the dial it originally had. So perhaps somebody's fitted that dial to sell it. But inside here, you see, we've got a buzzer fitted. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but it's not a complete chassis, obviously. And it has been sprayed blue at some point by the looks of it in here, either blue or grey. possibly blue. So I bet this has been in use as a film prop. So perhaps they all have, or theatre prop perhaps, but Local Amateur Dramatic Society maybe. So let's take this one apart. And see if there's any more clues to this one's heritage inside it. Right, so that comes out. S12E01. Right. So that all seems okay-ish. The dial is very suspicious because the dial's not connected up at all. So I don't think that dial should be with this phone. Right, now this one, look. Has got bolts on the inside of there. Now I'm going to do one of those and find out how that works, because that might give me a clue as to how that other one should work. Right, so that is unscrewing there. Right, so on this, all you've got here is that and that, and that's threaded, and that goes on the inside. So like that. So that's your phone there, and that's your. So where my thumb and finger are is where it goes through the phone, and that is how that works. So that is not the same as on that Siemens one. So that all goes through there like that. Put that on there from the back. If I can, hang on, let me do it this way up, it will be easier. So that's back in there. So that works differently. Why is there a bit of duct tape in there? I'm sure you shouldn't really have duct tape in there. take it off. Is it hiding anything? No, it's not hiding anything nasty. We're alright. Okay, it's in pretty good condition. There's no breaks or anything around here on the Bakelite. But that dial is probably not the right one for this phone. It's not at all wired up in any way, shape or form. And it is an L for lettered dial. You can see it's got the lettered plate on there. Well, it's not in line somehow, that. I don't know what's happening there quite. So I have a feeling that dial's been put on this phone. But here, the rest of it is okay on the top here. So there's been something removed there. There's a witness mark or something missing there. Just don't know off the top of my head what that might be. But the main thing about this phone, it's got no base plate at all. But it definitely says in here it's a 312F. So it should only have numbers on the dial if it's a 312F. But this, now I think this thing is something that's been added. That looks like a buzzer to me that somebody has added. Although some of that wiring does look old, as if it might be genuine. But I wouldn't like to say, don't know what everybody thinks about that. S12E01 312F, S12E01 is what it says on it. What do people think about this phone? Let's go back to the chat and see what everybody's got to say. Going back to getting that cap off. Payphones says, is it marigold glove time? Fungus here, he says bung a pair of washing up gloves on, then unscrew. Yeah, might be worth a go. Wesley says try and have 3 Weetabix in the morning. Yeah, it might help, Wesley. It might help. We might get somewhere. Penfold says the gym membership's not worked then. No. I wish Jim could do it. Save me a job. Dominic says a gentle tap on the desk might loosen it. I don't think it will, Dominic. I've done that before and it has worked, but this is properly on there. I think it's beyond a gentle tap on the desk. Mia says put it in the freezer, get it as cold as possible, dunk in boiling water for a very short time and try that. Yeah, so everything shrinks down and then just the cap expands. Yeah, I'm liking you the idea of that, Miguel. I might have to try that. Penfold says, does the buzzer mean the phone is an intercom phone? Well, I think it's been modified into an intercom phone, Penfold. And it says the paint, no wiring of the dial and buzzer does point to a film stage prop. Yeah, I think it's been turned into a prop. Dominic says, got to go now, but have a good week all. Okay, Dominic, we'll see you soon. Chris says, I sent a link to the photo of the bell I got in the email. Right, I'll have a look at it when we've done, Christopher, because I've got so many windows and that open on this computer tonight, it's unreal. So I'll have a look at that a bit later. So yeah, I think this has been modified into some kind of film prop, I think. Now I have got some complete innards for one of these, so I think rather than mess with these innards, I think I'm erring on the side of possibly just fitting the complete new innards to this. We'll wire up that dial though, because that looks like a dial 12. So yeah, so we'll give that dial a go. Arthur 706L. Hello Arthur. It says, what dial is it? I think it's a dial 12 in this, Arthur. It looks like a dial 12. It's got that, you can't really see, but it's got that sort of raised bit in the middle of the finger plates. I think it's a 12. It looks in good nick, apart from the fact I think the spring's broke in it, so I might have to take it apart and fit a spring. I have a feeling a spring out of dial 21 may well fit, so I think we might be alright there. Right, I'm going to put this back together for now, as is. But yeah, it looks like it's been turned into either an intercom or a film prop, this, or a stage prop. You're not looking at it, are you? Right, there you go. You can see it now. As I put the old screws back in. So the story behind these Bakelite phones is they were cheap as a job lot, and I thought, well, they'll do for spares if nothing else, because I have got quite a few sort of Bakelite bits that aren't complete phones, and getting to the stage of maybe making a complete phone out of some of the bits. Right, so that's back together now. So now shall we try and get this very shiny handset apart? Oh, and the one that's all painted up that you think would be gummed up actually comes apart. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's a 25 in there. They see that's a entirely different arrangement in there. You see, that one is basically completely filled up. You know, the other one was hollow, wasn't it, that we looked at? What we don't know yet is who made this. I mean, I think this is a GPO one. I mean, there's a lot of information we've not got, because we've not got the base, of course. But I do think this is a GPO variant. Does this end come off? No. Maybe I need to do my thing with my little pin thing again to get that down on. Let's have a go again. That. Well, just grabbing the screwdriver bit that did it last time. Got that in my fancy screwdriver. And I will then put it down here where you can't see it for a second. Because I've got to press that in and turn, and it does come off. It has done it. So there we go. That one's come apart. And again, it's just the same as the other one that we took apart. Not as clean in this one. There is some white powdery residue in this one. So it needs a full restore basically, but it is pretty much all there. And it'll possibly benefit from a new cord on it as well, because it's a bit frayed. In fact, it's very frayed in places, this cord. I am going to do something about making these cords at some point in the not too distant future. You can buy them, but they're ridiculously expensive for what they are, and I think there is a cheap way of making them, so watch out for that one. Alright, get that back on, twist it into place. That's locked it on again. Again though, even though this is painted, it's got no chips around the spit cup or anything. Can we see what this one is? I think I can't see because it's the layer of paint is so thick I can't read what's written on here. But I think this is actually a genuine GPO one. So that would be nice restored. But yeah, that'll make a. That will make a nice phone when it's all restored and we've got all this nice and shiny but nasty paint off it. Right, okay. So that is the stuff that's, or some of the stuff that's arrived while we've been off air for a couple of weeks over Christmas. Put that back in there. So that is about it, I think, for today. You've now seen what I'd got to show you for this time. Also arrived over Christmas has been an old, what we think is a very old German phone, and a wooden switchboard. So we'll be featuring those in weeks to come. Both of those things are courtesy of Andrew over in Wales. So thanks very much for all that, Andrew, and I enjoyed my little trip out to see you the other day. It was good fun. It was a nice trip to Wales, actually. Going between Christmas and New Year was really good because there wasn't much traffic on the roads, and it was a half decent journey. Right, before I go, I will just check back in on what folks have been saying in the chat. Christopher says, did you see the live stream I did to my air raid siren? Not yet, Christopher. I've not seen it yet. Is it still up there though? Because I will go and have a look at that. Because you did it last year as well, didn't you? Was it last year you did it, the air raid siren? I know you've done it before. I've seen you do it before. Yeah. Anybody that doesn't know, Christopher 2000, go and find him on YouTube. He's got his telephone channel and his railway channel as well. So go and find him. Right, that about wraps it up for this week. All that remains for me to say is, if you've enjoyed the show, thanks for watching. We'll be back here around about the same time, same place next week as well. But if you've really enjoyed what you've seen here, you might consider supporting us on Patreon if you don't do so already. You can find more details about it on this link here. It's basically £1 a month. www.patreon.com/Andy's Shed is the link to get to that. And also remember, we do have a forum. It's gpotelephones.proboards.com. It's been a bit neglected over Christmas. I've not really logged onto it much over Christmas. I ought to get on there and put some stuff on there. But there it is, the forum, gpotelephones.proboards.com. Right, that really is about it for now. We will be back here same time, same place next week. Maybe we'll show you more of the stuff that came from Andrews down there in Wales. Thanks to everybody for taking part and joining in the chat once again. If you're watching this after the event, we stream these live at about 6:30 most Sundays UK time. So if you want to catch us live next time, 6:30 Sunday night in UK time, and you'll be more than welcome to join in the chat if you haven't done so already. But that is about it from me for now. Have a fantastic week ahead, and I will see you next time. But from me, for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye everybody.